In this paper, using Harry Potter and the Prophecy, I'll be discussing the ways fate, free will, and the chase for eudaimonia impact us as we go through life. I'll be referring to fate as a strictly heteronymous concept. We cannot avoid fate in fiction or reality, unfortunately. When something is classified as predictable or cliche, it is fate. These unavoidable situations, actions, and reactions are fated to happen because it is a part of human nature. Events, good and bad, are meant to occur because that is the way life works. Free will is the opposite of fate, meaning it is a strictly autonomous concept. It is built from our various beliefs, goals, and reasoning. When we must choose, we are actively putting our free will into action, even when it seems there is only one option. As for eudaimonia, it is both a heteronymous and autonomous purpose and fulfillment. Eudaimonia is uniquely designed for your individual self by your individual self. Following the path towards your eudaimonia is a choice, but is also a fated personal excellence that we work on achieving even without knowing. We often overlook our eudaimonia, but that does not diminish our need for it in our lives. What I want you all to receive from this paper is that we are always on the right path to where we need and want to be. We sometimes lose ourselves as we maneuver through life. We feel like we make more mistakes and experience more setbacks in finding ourselves and the why to our existence, and that's truly not the case. The minor point is that fictional literature, mainly young adult fictional literature, displays these same issues, and we can learn a great deal about ourselves through these works. Throughout our lives, we spend a lot of time asking ourselves, what's next? What's next for our careers? What's next in our love lives? What's next in the afterlife? Living is not as predictable as we want it to be. Our life's purpose is not as clear or accessible as we want it to be. Young adult fiction demonstrates this dilemma constantly, along with the large game of choices we play regarding our purpose and what's next questions. From The Giver to The Catcher in the Rye to The Hunger Games, readers can observe teens and young adults navigating reality, searching and fighting for an ideal outcome to their predicaments, in addition to their own purpose in the world. Through various choices, good and bad, main characters fight the good fight against evil and justice in the confusing world they were born into. These amalgamations of choices boil down to three primary philosophical concepts: fate, free will, and eudaimonia. These concepts merge into one another to form the disorientating labyrinth of our lives in fiction and reality. We can observe this in the Harry Potter series. Around halfway through the Harry Potter series, we learn of Trelawney's almighty prophecy. At this point, we all, readers and main characters alike, learn that this prophecy is the backbone of the primary storyline, Harry Potter versus Voldemort. Bundled into a 7-book series, Harry Potter juggles comprehending newfound fame, his wizardly identity, friendship, and the life or death battle of Voldemort, with nothing but a wand, Marauder's map, and an invisibility cloak. With fated conflict, a roundabout path of free will, and an unclear eudaimonia calling, Harry has a lot to combat. There are many things fated to occur within Harry Potter, minor and major. Ron's jealousy of Harry and Hermione's friendship being misconstrued, and Hagrid facing consequences due to his fascination and nurturing of mythical creatures. All fated. It would not be a true to form young adult fiction without these archetypes. Jealousy, misinterpretation of relationships, and a good hearted person suffering for being good hearted are not only predictable fated conflicts that arise in literature, but they are also predictable fated conflicts in reality. We've accepted these conflicts in the real world as flaws of ourselves, others, and the society we live in. They are deemed heteronymous situations out of our control. Exceptions to such heteronymous fate are rare. While fated conflict can be changed, it is not our choice if it changes in our favor or not. We can wish and hope that the universe is on our side, but all in all, it is not up to us, though that does not mean we cannot progress. As stated in Trelawney's prophecy, the one with the power to defeat the Dark Lord will be born to those who have thrice defied him, born as the 7th month dies, and the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal. And either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survive. Similar to the story of Oedipus Rex, all details outlined in the prophecy would come to fruition no matter the circumstances. Harry and Voldemort crossed paths multiple times through the series. It was clear that the battle outlined in the fated prophecy was meant for a fated time after many other lessons were learned on both sides. The fighting grounds were being set as Harry worked his way through Hogwarts, learned the history of Voldemort, and pondered on his wizardly purpose. Meanwhile, Voldemort frequently underestimated his opponent. Accompanying this idea of unavoidable fate, we have Harry's use of free will and his application of morality. Harry's choices always came down to doing evil or doing good. He almost always chose good. Harry prioritized the protection of his newfound community, the Wizarding World, and the various magical beasts, creatures, and beings within it. Demonstrating care and honor to his peers, especially in death, is something he prioritizes throughout the story. He works to make choices that not only feel morally right to himself, but also unknowingly emulates the people he respects the most, like Dumbledore or Sirius Black, through wit, charm, and nobility. In The Goblet of Fire, Harry returns to the Triwizard Cup with Cedric Diggory's body after escaping Voldemort yet again. He wanted me to bring him back. He wanted me to bring him back to his parents, he says. Harry used all the strength he could muster to honor Cedric's wishes, dodging curses with an injured leg, burning scar, and a clear vision of Voldemort's resurrected body spinning in his mind. He still made the autonomous choice to cling to Cedric's wrist as he held onto the portkey. We see the same form of nobility when Harry chooses to bury Dobby's body after his tragic death in the Deathly Hallows. He says that he wants to do it properly, no magic, and does just that. Harry gives Dobby a formal human-style funeral, honoring Dobby as an equal in death by digging him a proper grave, dressing him in proper clothes, and saying goodbye instead of thank you like his peers, putting him to rest as a free elf. Humanizing Dobby, even in death, was an autonomous choice and shows Harry's feelings toward beings who are not only not human, but who aren't wizards either, an issue many wizards have and do not properly address. In opposition to doing good, Harry did choose to do evil occasionally, either from being blinded by revenge or hate, or by simply acting in the spur of the moment. Even when choosing evil, his path was reverted to the good path, or the evil decision turned out to be very beneficial. An example of this is in The Half-Blood Prince, where Draco attempts to harm Harry with the Cruciatus Curse, one of the unforgivable curses. In defense, Harry uses Sectum Sempra, a curse created by the Half-Blood Prince himself that he did not know the purpose of. After seeing the gruesome outcome of the spell, Harry immediately regrets his choice of using it. He recognized instantly that he made a bad decision and accepted that whatever punishment to come his way was earned. Though, if Harry hadn't made the choice to be evil and use Sectum Sempra, he probably would have never learned the identity of the Half-Blood Prince. Sometimes bad choices can have good outcomes in the long run. Free will is one of few things we have full autonomous control over. Our true heart and conscience speaks through the choices we make. It is upheld by our personal moral truths, ethical practices, cultural beliefs, and personal desires. This alone makes decision-making a hassle. We constantly battle between being the person we want to be, the person society wants us to be, and what the universe expects us to be, because we have the choice every second of every day to decide that. In Harry's case, he's torn between being the chosen one, the son of Lily James, and being an ordinary wizard. In the end, we see that the true Harry Potter was a wizard who wanted the community he lacked in the Muggle world. He made it a point to demonstrate what community means to him in action by honoring the dead. We make autonomous choices through free will to fulfill our personal, societal, and moral needs. Fate can sometimes obstruct these choices for good or bad. Fate switches the goalposts, which in turn switches the reasoning of our free will decision. Like Harry and Sectum Sempra, it was It was fated that Harry learns the Half-Blood Prince's identity, as it was the most pondering question of the novel. To get there, Harry had to expose that he was using HBP's old notebook, to Hermione's dismay, became obnoxiously obsessed with the Half-Blood Prince, and eventually used one of the spells created by him. These choices were made by Harry of his own accord. These choices led to the Half-Blood Prince revealing himself to be Professor Snape. There is more autonomous action involved in reaching fated conclusions than we realize. Our autonomous choices make the journey to the end a lot more complex as we learn more that can either help or hinder us in the process. The most endearing series of events is when Harry finds his Eudaimonia. From the moment in the Deathly Hallows when he realizes he himself is one of the Horcruxes, to his chat with Dumbledore and King's Cross, to defeating Voldemort, you can see Harry fall into his true self. These moments clearly exhibit Harry stepping out of being a puppet for everyone's valid expectations and stepping into what it truly means to be Harry Potter. He did not have to stoop to Voldemort's level by using Avada Kedavra or other unforgivable curses. As it always worked in the past, the Expelliarmus spell was enough. Harry Potter in his truest form is a wizard that can do more harm with a disarming spell than with any unforgivable curse, because his eudaimonic fulfillment and purpose stems from doing what is morally good for the benefit of his community. Eudaimonia is a level of happiness and personal contentment that is so exultant it requires an immense amount of work to reach. It is a personal destined fate that you must freely choose to strive for. You must listen to your true self, the voice that is much more confident and well-informed than your own conscience. Your conscience speaks on what is morally right, but your true self speaks on what is cherished by your spirit. In Harry's case, fulfilling the prophecy on his own terms guided him to his Eudaimonia. He was never given the choice of when or how to fight Voldemort in the past. It was always up to doing what was ideal at the moment. But in the end, during the Battle of Hogwarts, he could face Voldemort alone with no assistance, with a spell he chose and knew for a fact he could pull off. Harry's eudaimonic purpose chose him, as it does for all of us. He had to do a great deal of soul searching to find it, comprehend it, and achieve it. For him, it took years with a good amount of near-death experiences in between, but he had a strong support system. In reality, we all take longer to reach such a profound level of personal understanding and happiness. Due to ignoring our true inner selves' heteronymous call to autonomously manage fated chaos with our free will, we constantly send eudaimonia and our true self to voicemail. Missing out on the opportunity to go forward with a journey towards a perfectly designed eudaimonic life purpose. The characters we root for in these young adult fiction works have the same dilemmas as we do in reality. We are all lost on what's right, what's next, and what's the purpose. We stumble through life making free will choices through fated chaos to somehow find a way towards an indescribable state of happiness, contentment, and purpose. For Harry Potter, it took 7 years and 7 books to accomplish. For most of us muggles, it may take a lifetime to figure out, and I think somehow that's the best part of it all.